Okay, I want to thank you all for tuning in and logging on to another episode of Illuminati News Hour right here on Illuminati Radio Podcast. I'm your host, I'm your pastor, Mr. Michael Smith, and my co-host is Brother Lamik Israel. Before we get into the show, I want you guys to go ahead and show some love by hitting that follow button. And also, you won't be only showing love, you will also be hitting that follow button so that you can receive notifications every time we drop some juicy news reports. So hit that follow button. Okay, so let's go ahead and see what's going on here. Brother Israel?
Yes, sir. This is from riverfronttimes.com. Article headlines: Sweetie Pie's Tim Norman, exotic dancer charged in murder for hire plot.
Okay.
Hold on.
Make sure you guys hit that follow button so that you can receive the necessary notifications, because we drop these news stories every day. And if you don't get them, it's because you haven't received the notification. And if you ain't received the notifications, it's because you ain't hit that follow button. So hit that follow button. Go ahead, Brother Israel.
Timothy Norman of Sweetie Pie's fame is facing federal charges alleging he conspired with an exotic dancer in the murder of his 20-year-old nephew, Andre Montgomery. The 41-year-old son of the legendary restaurant owner, Robbie Montgomery, was arrested this morning at his home in Jackson, Mississippi.
Well, I got to tell you, it was a sacrifice. The man's 41, backwards, that's 14, and his nephew is 20. 22 represents death, so therefore, being that 20 represents death, yes, it was a plot to kill his nephew. But why did he get caught? What happened? The ritual must not have been done right because he's locked up. You know what I'm saying? If you do the ritual right, you will end up like Jennifer Hudson, who murdered her whole family, and she still ain't spent a day in jail. If the ritual was done right, you would see what happened to Kanye West's mama, which was done right, and it's all blamed on her getting plastic surgery. See how that works? When you do the ritual right, you don't have to worry about any repercussions. The same way when T.I. sacrifices 66-year-old sister. Ritual done right. Nobody questioned a thing. And T.I. is still back to make more Crime Stoppers commercials. But go ahead, Brother Israel. Make sure you hit that follow button so that you can stay updated on every time we drop any juicy news reports. Hit that follow button. Go ahead, Brother Israel.
Norman starred with his family in the show Welcome to Sweetie Pie, have feuded with his mother over money in recent years after she sued him for opening restaurants under the Sweetie Pie's brand without her permission, according to court records. It was a messy public spat, but federal authorities says Norman executed a far more sinister conspiracy to have his nephew killed in 2016.
You know, but I don't see why PewDiePie sued Tim for opening up a restaurant. I mean, that expands the PewDiePie's name. Why would you, if that's your family member, right? I wouldn't mind. You know what I'm saying? Keep it in the family. You know, see, that reminds me of, you know what I'm saying? You got Rihanna. Rihanna ain't helped out her father do nothing. But her father takes it upon himself to open up. I think her father opened up a restaurant or some type of business her father opened up and used Rihanna's name. And Rihanna turned around and sued her father for using her name. But if it wasn't for her father, she wouldn't be here on this earth. So I never understood that. You know what I'm saying? Why Rihanna, why are you suing your father? Can your father eat too? You know what I'm saying? You sacrifice your nephew. The same way this Norman guy. He should have been allowed to open up a restaurant in Cutie Pie's, Sweetie Pie's, whatever the name is. Sweetie Pie's name. He should have been able to do that. You know what I'm saying? I can see if a stranger opened up a restaurant in Sweetie Pie's name. That is family. That's how you know that, you know what I'm saying? These are selfish people. Go ahead, Brother Israel.
According to the criminal complaint unsealed today, Norman had taken out 4,000.
Were you I'm sorry. Was you tap dancing for just a few minutes ago?
No.
Sounded like you was tap dancing. I was about to say, damn, this nigga tap dancing. But anyway, go ahead.
$450,000 life insurance policy on Andre Montgomery in 2014, and he was able to sole beneficiary. He was the sole beneficiary. In 2016, Norman was living in Los Angeles. Phone records obtained by investigators showed that leading up to Andre Montgomery's murder, Norman and a Memphis-based dancer named Teresa Ellis headed to St. Louis and communicated over burner phones.
But you know, it wasn't all about $450,000 life insurance policy, because his nephew was 20. His nephew, that's a perfect sacrifice. And him being 41, backwards at 14, that's a perfect sacrifice. You know what I'm saying? But something somewhere went wrong. Somebody did not notify the proper people that something was going down. Kind of like OJ. OJ was supposed to sacrifice Nicole Simpson. And that whole sacrifice would have went down perfectly if OJ would have took his big blockhead ass over to Pennsylvania and attend his meeting. See, because OJ was supposed to be in Pennsylvania at a business meeting at the same time of the stabbing. And if OJ was in Pennsylvania, took that flight and went to Pennsylvania and attended his business meeting, he would have been in the clear. He would have had an alibi. He wouldn't have had nobody coming at him. He wouldn't have experienced none of that trial shit. But he want to stay his big block ass in town. And when the shit went down, they point the finger at his ass. See? Rituals. When rituals are not done right, when you don't do according to what you're supposed to do, shit happens. Go ahead, Brother Israel.
Alice 36 also started contacting Montgomery, sending him her Instagram account handle, Alex Us the Great, and texting that she would be visiting St. Louis. I'm on my way in town, she wrote him in an email on March 10, 2016, according to court records. 3 days later, Norman flew into St. Louis and booked a room at the Chase Park Plaza Hotel. The next day, March 14, Ellis contacted Montgomery to figure out where he was. According to the complaint, cell phone records showed that he texted her the address of a house, 3964 Natural Bridge Ave in the city.
Did you just say 3,900?
Yep, it's 64.
So 39. That symbolizes time. Let's see, all of these numbers, it matches up to be a ritual sacrifice. So it's something that he didn't do right. All the numbers added up. Go ahead, Brother Israel. go ahead and hit that follow button so that you can stay updated in all of the notifications when we drop these juicy news reports.
Ellis then called Norman. That night at 8:02 p.m., Montgomery was shot to death at the house on Natural Bridge, and investigators believe Ellis was there. Location data from her burner phone put her at the scene, and in one of Montgomery's final phone calls, he spoke to his girlfriend, who later told investigators she could hear a woman's voice in the background. 1 minute after the 20-year-old was shot, Ellis made another call to Norman. Despite being at the scene of Montgomery's murder at 8:02, Ellis' first phone call was not to the police.
Oh, so the nephew died?
Yeah.
Oh, so it did go down. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it happened.
Okay. I thought it was foiled. Okay. So it did go down. So he did sacrifice, but something he didn't do right. But go ahead, Brother Israel.
At which time her phone location data showed she was driving in a direction consistent with her returning home in Memphis, Tennessee, the criminal complaint says. Phone records would then show the phone moving south along Interstate 55. Norman's phone showed him flying back to Los Angeles, arriving early the morning after the killing. That same day, March 15, 2016, both the burner phones went dark, authorities say. Back in Memphis, Ellis began depositing money, $3,020, in a checking account that previously had a negative balance, and another $4,340 in the savings account opened the same day. On March 17, 2016, she deposited another $1,900. On March 22, 2016, she and her mother and daughter flew to Los Angeles. There's not much information in the court records about what they did there. But authorities say location data from her mom's phone showed that on at least one occasion they were with Norman. At the end of April 2016, Norman wired Ellis $700. Norman waited a week to try to collect on his murdered nephew's life insurance policy, authorities say. On March 21st, 2016, he called the bank, but he never provided all the documentation required and still hasn't gotten the money, according to court records. He's now being held without bond at a jail in Madison County, Mississippi. Ian Ellis has been charged with conspiracy to use interstate commerce facilities and commission of murder for hire, resulting in death. The case is being investigated by St. Louis police and the FBI.
Wow. Well, you know what I'm saying? It's a rough year for these celebrities, like I told you, people. But anyway, this is news. I want to thank you all for before you guys leave, make sure you hit that follow button so that you can stay updated and stay notified when we go drop these news reports. I want to thank you all for tuning in and logging on to another episode of Illuminati News Hour right here on Illuminati Radio Podcast Show. I'm your host, I'm your pastor, Mr. Michael Smith, and my co-host is Brother Lamik Israel. Till next time, stay tuned. God bless you.